Okay, so here we are at Newport bus station. It's our first video in the bus stop fishing series, and today we're going to go to Penarth. We're going to start fishing at Penarth Beach and maybe go down to the pier afterwards. It's a good route to take. The 30 from Newport to Cardiff drops us off in Cardiff at the same place as we need number 89A down to Penarth Beach. So there's no hauling around Cardiff with my fishing tackle. It's just straight off the bus and on to the next one. The only issue is that the 89A connection leaves 4 minutes after the 30 arrives. So hopefully there's no traffic. Hopefully the connections will work out well. And in about an hour and a half we should be on Penarth Beach getting ready for our first session of fishing. Okay, so the buses run really well today. All on time, all connections great. So I've got, it's 22:11 now, and I've got until 4:10 when I plan on going back to Newport. So I've got a good 5.5 hours fishing ahead of me. I'm going to start down on the beach. I've only got a 10-foot travel rod with me, so if I can't get the distance, I'll move up and I'll fish off the pier. But now we're just heading down to the beach. Right, so here we are on the water's edge, right on the sea. It's a falling tide. I'm not going to catch any rising tide, I don't think, today. I've got about 5 hours of fishing before I have to start packing up to get back to the bus stop for a 4 return on the bus. But we can see what we can pull in. So let's get set up and get ready to start fishing. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a lot of video today because I forgot to bring my tripod with me. I do have my chest camera and my action cam, so I may do that, but I don't have a microphone for it. But today I'm going to be fishing. I've got some of the that crab flavouring in a worm, and on the top rig I'm going to be running the old lug worm. So we'll see what happens. It's pretty breezy, but it's quite a mild day, and hopefully it might pick up temperature wise later on in the day as the day warms up. But I'll just get on with fishing now and we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think we're going to be moving up to the pier shortly. This does appear to be sort of snag heaven down here on the beach. I've lost 2 rigs in about 10 minutes. So it's not a great deal for fishing, but I'll move up to the pier and give the pier a shot shortly. Well, I'm pretty much heading towards low tide now, and it's just gone too far out. I don't think even heading over to the pier will help that much, because it looks like the pier's dry as well. So I'm going to pack up, have a cup of coffee, and just watch the tide for a while and see if it comes back in before I have to go. It may be a couple of hours before I can get back down to fishing, and they'll give me another couple of hours fishing afterwards. But I have tried to walk out down to low tide, but it is very silty and very muddy, and I really don't want to get stuck in the mud. Not a good idea to do. So I'm taking a break, have some lunch, have a coffee, and see what happens. I think, like most things, when you go to a new place, you don't know what the situation is, and I've never been to Penarth fishing before, so I know in future if I come down, that I'll make sure I check the tide times to make sure the tides are good for fishing, or at least on the way up, and maybe high tide with a couple of hours after. But coming here when it's low tide, it's not beneficial at all. So I'm going to pack up, have a cup of coffee, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so the tide has started to turn, so it's on its way back in, so I might get a bit of fishing involved before I have to get that 4:10 buzz back to Cardiff. The other alternative is, as the tide's turning, instead of catching that 4:10 buzz back, I could wait for the next one, which is 6:10. Then that would certainly be a lot better for the tide, because I'll have an extra couple of hours to do some fishing in. I went up onto the pier to see what the likes of fishing is up there. There's some anglers up there, and then basically reeled in all of their tackle, because, as I say, the tide goes out too far even from the pier to be able to do any casting. So then waiting for the tide to come back in. It's just reached the tip of the pier now, so I should imagine they'll start casting out fairly soon. For that water now to come up to a good location on the beach is probably going to be in about another hour or so. Probably just a little less than now, because it is the Severn estuary and there is a fast tide. I think I found a nice spot where I'm not going to get tangled up. When I did it for the first half hour, 40 minutes, I lost two rigs because I got tangled up and got snared. Strangely enough, normally if I get snared up, I lose it at the top of the rig where I've got a little breaker on. But on both of these, it became caught up at the weight itself, and I just lost the weight and I brought in the hooks. So I don't know whether it just got abraded or cut by some rocks or something, because there's a lot of sharp rocks. So that might have caused it to snag and break. But I'll have a think. The problem is, I mean, it's a nice sunny day today, but there is a cool wind blowing and my hands are getting pretty cold. So whether I'm going to wait out another 2 hours for that 6:10 buzz, that will get me back into Newport for about 8 o'clock. Or I might just go for the 4 o'clock as expected. But this is definitely a location that's easy to get to on the buzz, but you do need to check your tide times to make sure it's worthwhile coming fishing. Certainly something I'm going to come back to, but next time I will check my tide times. So it looks like I'm going to be doing alternate weeks on this buzz stop fishing series. 1 week you'll be sea fishing when the high tides are running right at daytime levels where the buzzes are running, and on the alternate weeks when the tides are running low, I'll probably be looking at doing some freshwater fishing, so the canal as the rivers are closed at the moment. We've got the canals and we've got a couple of ponds that we can get to. So that's the plan. I'll leave another hour or so, see where the tide is. We've got a bit of time to spare still. It's only about 2 o'clock, so I've got another couple of hours before that buzz comes in for me to decide on whether to catch that one or the 6 o'clock buzz. Not the most successful day fishing, but you live and you learn. You know, when you go to new places, you got to know where the tides are, and if you don't, and you don't know how far out to go, you can get stuck like this. But not to worry, that's fishing for you. Okay, so we're back out fishing again. We've got about 90 minutes now before I have to head back off for the buzz. So let's see what we can do in the 90 minutes that we've got. Keep an eye on the tide because it is moving in very quickly. So I'll keep my backpack handy and not unpacked. Okay, so it's 3:30 now, so I'm going to call it a day. We've had a few spots of rain and it's getting quite overcast, so I'm not going to wait around till 6 o'clock for the next buzz. I'm going to go for this 4:05 buzz. So half an hour to sort of clear up and stop off for a cup of coffee before the buzz comes. I have just had a bite. I've just reeled in after having a bite. Unfortunately, it's took half my tackle. Well, it's bit straight through the line, took the bait, and the weight's disappeared. So it was definitely a bite though. Not quite sure what it was. Maybe at this time of year you might get the occasional conger, but March, it's not a great time for fishing down South Wales. But I've had a good day today, really. I've had about 3 hours worth of fishing. I didn't bring my tripod, so I didn't really get a lot on camera. But well worth doing, and I'll do it again sometime in the future, but I'll time it better with the tides next time. So let's pack up and head for coffee. Okay, that's it. It's about 5 minutes for the buzz, the 89B, back to Cardiff, and then there's a 15-minute wait for the 30 back to Newport. So everything goes well, hour and a half, I'll be back home. So another good thing about the 89 bus service is that it's a bus service that drops you off right outside of Cardiff Bay Barrage where the fishing is. So that's one for the future when we go down to the Cardiff Barrage on the bus. Number 89, same bus as to Penarth. Okay, so we've arrived back now after quite a successful day for bus stop fishing, our first one out. Not so great on the fishing, but it does show it can work. It was a very easy journey, very easy trip from Newport out to Penarth. In future, I'll have to remember that when we go there again, that we need to make sure that we get there on the rising tide after about an hour of the lowest tide. And if we get there, then we can work our way up the beach and work our way back down afterwards. No good going there when it's a falling tide, because apart from the very nice fish and chip shop and restaurant and a couple of nice bars on the beachfront, you're not going to get much fishing in. So that's our first one done. Hopefully we'll get another one done fairly soon. But thank you for watching. Subscribe, like and share if you want. That's great. Cheers and good luck fishing if you're heading out.